There's some bison up there. Oh my god, hot dad alert. Wonder when we'll hit mile 16. Starting to feel like never. And like, hope I don't shit myself. We got up at 4 something. No. What time did we get up? 4:45 in the morning. And then we took a ferry to get out here. 20 miles offshore of LA, there's an island with cacti, bison, rugged mountain peaks, and campsites on the ocean. Between the ferry terminals and the campsites, you can find a rugged 38.5-mile hike through the island. This is the U.S.'s shortest through hike, the Trans-Catalina Trail. I met up with my friend Sarah in Long Beach. We caught a early morning ferry out to Avalon, which is kind of the ideal start point for this trail. We grabbed some breakfast before checking in at the Trans-Catalina Conservancy, Trans-Catalina Trail Conservancy, where we picked up some maps, some little field guides, and then hit the trail, which began with a 3-mile moderately steep climb, pretty much in full sun after like 10 a.m. Okay, so we're at like the first natural resting point on the TCT. Say hi to Sarah. Woo! There's some little hikers out there. We came from down there. Hopefully I'm holding this in the right spot. You can see some mountains. And now we're up here. We're walking. I don't think, have we hit the 4-mile marker yet?
No, I don't think so.
We're taking our sweet time, but it is really pretty up here. Let's see. We left at dark 30 on the ferry. We've been hiking for like what, 2 hours, 3 hours?
2-ish hours.
2-ish hours. I ate some dried mango. I've been sucking down water. It's actually like very hot up here. And you can actually like see out back towards California mainland across the channel. And this is my first time in California.
Welcome to California, Maddie.
It's beautiful. I love it here.
We are not quite to the top yet, but we can see both sides of the island.
We are about halfway-ish into our first day. So far I would say it's about as difficult as I expected, but hotter than I expected. But I'm like not acclimatized to the heat at any given point in time. And it's pretty. We have noticed that people seem to be in a rush to get to the campsite when there's like plenty of daylight left. And the trails are really beautiful. And I don't feel like sending it through the hottest part of the day. Yeah. Notes, thoughts, Sarah?
All correct.
As usual. Everything I've said, Sarah has no notes. In total, day 1 was 11 miles-ish up to the Blackjack campground, and the last mile was definitely the most challenging. It was pretty much like straight uphill, and after like a slow, like long, slow, like up and down, it like really, really felt good to get there, and that last mile was really challenging. Most challenging for me was actually going the downhills. I really struggle with downhills backpacking, just my knees aren't great. Hey, we made it to camp. It's windy, it's cold, the hike was harder than we thought. Also, there's bison in camp.
There's bison in camp.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I'm more interested in my food, to be totally honest. Yeah, we were pretty tired when we got to camp, and there were some bison. One kind of cool thing about the TCT is that you kind of start at the same time as other people, and you'll like encounter them throughout. So this first night, we'd been like leapfrogging with most of these people all day, and would continue to see a lot of them throughout the trail, which is really fun. We were treated to a beautiful sunset and went to bed promptly thereafter. We didn't expressly plan to get going early, but after 12 hours of sleep, it was pretty inevitable that we were on the trail early. Good morning. We started our hike out of Blackjack. We've got a beautiful view of the Pacific and Santa something island. Can't remember. And it seems like it's gonna be really hot today. Today we have about 8 miles. A good chunk of that's gonna be downhill. My knee is low-key pretty fucked. It's an overuse injury from high school that I haven't like had an issue with in a while and sort of forgot about. But yesterday on like the downhill between, there's like a rest stop where there was cold water in a cooler. There was like a pretty substantial downhill, and I was not super happy. My knee was really uncomfortable, and I'm hoping today it's gonna be fine. Took some, ooh, I burped. Excuse me. Took some like Tylenol and Advil. I'm feeling pretty okay right now. And I'm hoping today's a lot of downhill, and I'm hoping it's gonna be fine. I slept really well last night. I didn't. Yeah, Sarah can confirm. I snored like a chainsaw. And then the night before, neither of us slept well before the ferry. So that was a relief. Ooh, up here on our left, we have some prickly pear plant. I got some cheat sheets about like what lives on the island. Prickly pear. Very exciting. Okay, that's all I got. Made it to airport in the sky. Another kind of cool thing about the Trans-Catalina trail is there are a couple of like spots to stop and grab food, and airport in the sky is one of them. It's just like 2 miles out of the Blackjack campground, and I got a lemonade and a bison dog. I ate this for breakfast. There are no bathrooms for the next 6 miles. That was a mistake. Check it out. Sarah and I were just talking about how it feels like people sometimes try and hide that like the trail is on an island with roads that people live on, and it's actually really pretty, like roads and all, and the proximity to civilization is like part of the draw. I mean, for me it is, because I can't wait to get like a burger or something in the near.
Why am I in that?
I don't know. Can you hear the frogs? Ribbit. I wonder if these guys, I wonder when we're gonna see them come around the corner.
I don't know. I think I'm ready.
I can be ready. I think that's over 100 yards, right? For reference.
I think we'll be okay.
I think we'll be okay too. I think I'm a fearful person. At least of large animals.
Honestly, I think that that's a good thing to be fearful of.
It's a safe trait to have.
Yeah.
Hello, bison. We're down here, just so you know. That's really cool that they're up there. Well, gravity would not be on our side if they decided they weren't happy with us. Wonder when we'll hit mile 16. Starting to feel like never. There's some bison up there. I don't know if you can see them. You must be able to see them. Bison, Sarah, Pacific Ocean. More Trans-Catalina Trail. We can see Little Harbor down there. And we can see Little Harbor down there. We sure can. And here's the trail. Kind of runs all the way down there. Maybe a lot of downhill. And there is like no cover, so I'm gonna hold my pee and like hope I don't shit myself. Wish me luck. Day 2 was probably my favorite day of hiking, with the shorter mileage and kind of the gentle downhills, and it was just like really nice and beautiful. It was like an easy day, relatively, and really pretty.
We are eating homemade hatch green chili mac.
Sarah dehydrates her own food, which is cool and makes her better than me. I just went to the local gear shop and got some peak refuel. I do only eat pasta on trail because anything else I'll reject. I'm picky. My hair looks terrible.
We ended up getting into camp at Little Harbor after an 8 mile day, I think an 8 mile day, around like 3 p.m. Spent some time on the beach before we headed back up to camp. I had to repair my tent poles because my Big Agnes Fly Creek, it's about 7 or 8 years old, and it's seen over 100 trail nights for sure, and the tent pole had just like started to come apart. I think it happened in my Apostle Islands trip last summer in a storm, and I just have a tent pole splint that I like taped on with some duct tape, and I'm gonna keep using it. There's a few holes in the bug net, but that's pretty easy to repair too. But there's no reason to throw her away yet. She's still trucking. We watched a gorgeous sunset on the beach. You can kind of see a tiny hiker there on the left. And
I didn't want to get stuck out here and mistake my flight.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, so here's where you would watch for your green flash, is as it sinks over. Right as it like crosses the horizon line, you would see your flash of green. Yeah, I don't think so. And the flies are getting me now. No.
we woke up at 5:30. Ooh, thank you for the light on the subject. This actually has low light capability, so I don't need it. But you can if you want. Good morning. We woke up at 5:30. We're gonna get an early start. Right now I'm letting my feet dry because they're fucking soaked. Because all the grass here was just like coated in dew. There was like standing water in my tent. I'm like talking to Sarah, but you can't see her. There she is. There's like standing water in my tent. I could have done a better job staking it out, except I couldn't have because we have 5 tent stakes between the two of us, and Sarah has a tent trekking pole, freestanding tent, and mine is also freestanding. So we're fine. We're so fine. But everything's pretty wet. I have my tent in a garbage bag, and we're gonna dry everything out later. Sleeping bags were also wet. But I'm letting my nasty feet dry out before I slap some blister patches on it, and then we're gonna hike. There's one other group in the campground up. For now, we're being pretty loud.
Yeah.
They're being pretty loud.
Oh, yeah.
Now seems like a good time to introduce you to the characters in our story. Down to the left of our campsite, we have the couple who were halfway here. We're trying to hike to Little Harbor in a day and got picked up by the sheriff before halfway. In the middle here, we have the birthday party, burning palm fronds. We brought them, which is illegal, but we brought them some firewood in hopes of gently encouraging them to use that instead, which I think they did, but continue to burn the palm fronds. My favorite though is there is a hot dad with 2 sons, presumably, and the little son, one of them is up there on this like cliff looking out over the ocean right now, and their enthusiasm for the outdoors is so cute. After like the hard long day, they both went running to watch the sunset, and I was like, wow, to experience joy again. Can't relate, my feet hurt. Day 3 between Little Harbor and Parsons Landing was a 13-mile hike with a lot of uphill right in the start in the first 5 miles, and then the option to either walk the coast, part of like the Lollipop Trail, for 8 miles, or to do 8 miles where you go up the height of the island and then back down. Yet we hadn't decided at this point. I'll put in your guesses below. But this was like a pretty big uphill, and we were really stoked to be on the trail so early. It was absolutely gorgeous. This was the prettiest stretch. Hiking in glasses today, which I'm not super happy about. But our early wake up paid off. It's so pretty. We're the only ones up there. And there's Sarah walking back for her camera tripod. The walk of influencer shame. Yeah, this was like, the scenery along this stretch of trail is like can't miss. Do not take the road for this part. Suffer through the uphill. Wow, look at this gorgeous view. See that hill? See that, let me zoom in, tiny pergola up top? That's where we get to go. I'm low-key dying, but it's fine. We made it to the pergola. We came up that hill. The view's pretty good. I did already scratch the lens on this, but I have a lens replacement kit. 'Twas hubris. Up here, the birthday group caught up with us, shared some candy with us, and everyone kind of took out their stuff to dry it out because it was super, super dewy at Little Harbor. I opted not to do this. All of my stuff I had like stashed in a trash bag. It ended up drying just fine. From here, we continued mostly downhill to Harbors, had some Cheetos and Coke for lunch, and then we did opt to take the easier 8-mile route along the coast, which was beautiful. We saw this, I think it's an island shrike based on my field guide, but if you want to correct me, please do. I was feeling pretty wrecked, so I didn't take too many videos, and this is what it looked like hiking into Parsons Landing. It was absolutely gorgeous, and the campsite was right on the water. This was like peak hiking vibe for me. I love an ocean campsite. It was really pretty, and here you can see our tents next to each other. This is what camp looked like. This was my favorite night at camp for sure, but I like, people talk about how much better this is than anything else. I think Little Harbor was just as good, especially if you got it on the water side. Hey Sarah, tell us what you're eating.
A walking tamale, packaged tamale, and it's so good. Stinky.
Wow, my hair makes me look like a crazy person. Or someone who just hiked like 13 miles, one of the two. We made it to Parsons Landing around 3:30. We ended up not taking like the high road in the traditional Trans-Catalina trail route because it would have involved like a second pretty gnarly uphill, and I have blisters, and yeah, we just like weren't feeling it. So we walked along the ocean, and we'll do that same 8-mile walk tomorrow. Yeah, and Parsons Landing is like often like touted as one of the better campsites on the trail. I would agree. This is our setup back here. You can see our two tents. I don't know if I've already said this, but the reason our tents are tethered together.
Don't say.
I think I already did it a different
Don't
one.
out me.
Sarah and her trekking pole tent forgot tent stakes, so she's like staked off of my stakes, and then I had a few extras, so she's staked it. But anyways, this is the actual like ocean view. Like, I guess you can't really see on this lens. I mean, you kind of can. Yeah. Look at that. Hell yeah. It's beautiful. Dinner!
It's Gorgina out.
It's so pretty. Sarah's heading out to take pictures. I'm gonna eat some dinner. It's a like beautiful, we're not facing the sunset, but it's kind of like a beautiful sunset spot nonetheless. Sunrise here in the morning is gonna go crazy. We have a roaring fire. Ooh, Sarah must have added a log. Am I worried about sparks on our packs? I probably should be, but I'm not. Like, not really worried about anything at this moment. Today was a hard hike, even with us taking like the easier route, which I have like no negative feelings about, only positive. Even from day one, I was like, I am not going up that hill. I don't need to. I don't have anything to prove to anyone. Maybe if this was an end of season trip, I would have felt more like doing that, but it's not. It's a first backpacking trip of the season. First backpacking trip since Sarah and I did Canyonlands last year. For me, I'm more of a paddler. Yeah, but gorgeous out there. Can't complain. What would be leaving this like weird glowing in the sky? This like kind of looks like a comet, but it's like fully glowing. and now it's kind of fizzled out. It has to be like a meteor or something.
That's great.
It's still like falling over there, but like it's like glowing space dust here.
It's still going. That's weird.
That's really unnerving.
Yeah, I don't actually like that because I don't know what it is.
Spooky. Shortly after this, some of the people we'd been like kind of leapfrogging with for all of the 3 days came and joined our campsite, and they informed us that this was like a SpaceX launch, not UFOs. I was pretty sure we were gonna get abducted, so I don't know. What can you say? Yeah, but it was really nice. Definitely my favorite part of this trail was the trail culture and like getting to know people and meet people along the way and invent like wild backstories for the people who we didn't get to meet. That's always fun. This is the view from our campsite, and I'm not gonna lie, this little rock structure did keep me awake at night. As a kayak guide, I often think about like tides and how close to the water we're camped, and I think if I was kayaking, I would not have picked where those tent pads are. I would have put my tent farther up. There were like, yeah, I had questions about if it floods, but it didn't. Okay, good morning. We had a slow morning. 2 cups of coffee. It's like, what, 9:30-ish? Probably Sarah's patching her blisters. We're getting ready to hike the last 8 miles out from Parsons. Yeah, beautiful morning. We've got like several hours to do this hike. It's 8 miles. We did it yesterday. We're actually feeling pretty good this morning. The slow morning and the early arrival yesterday gave us a lot of like recovery time, which is good. Yeah, I think we're like, of the groups that started at the same time as us, I think we're like faring better than most. It sounds like we talked to some of our neighbors last night who came in late. Yeah, it sounds like 2 groups bailed at 2 harbors, or 1 person from 1 group rather, who had a really heavy pack, and then the father and daughter dipped. Meaning, yeah, like to my knowledge, I think the couple that was like smoking us on the trail definitely did the whole thing and the peak. Part of the trio, one of them had blisters and they still trekked it out, which is like, that's pretty impressive to have blisters as bad as she did and still push through. Yeah, but we're feeling pretty good. Happy to be here and happy to get moving and have a burger. Burger. Sarah's just informed me we're at the halfway mark for the day. Thank God. Actually, we're doing fine.
Yeah, we're doing great.
We're doing fine, and it's so beautiful. And we're gonna have a burger and a beer really, really soon.
Really soon.
And then tacos.
Tacos.
The 8-mile walk back into 2 harbors along the coast was the same walk that we did on the way in, but we actually took it faster, but enjoyed it more. We did opt to wear our like socks and sandals. For me, that's bedrock, and like some toe socks. I did have blisters on my feet from my Obo's hiking shoes. I get these no matter what hiking shoes I wear, no matter what sock weight I wear, and pretty much no matter what time of the season it is. They were definitely worse this time due to not being like fully acclimated to hiking season yet, but I do like regularly blister. There's like just not a ton that I can do about it, and so instead I like treat them in advance by taping for hot spots and adjusting from there. Less than a mile. This is gonna be the bumpiest video ever. We're coming into 2 harbors. We have less than a mile till a burger and a beer, and we're actually doing great.
Feel good.
Throughout the trail, we averaged a 28-ish minute mile pace, and we were super stoked to be getting our burgers and 2 harbors. This last 8 miles we cooked. We started after 10 and finished around 2, and then we caught the ferry back to Long Beach. Overall, this was like easily my favorite backpacking trip I've ever done. Of the backpacking trips I've done, this is the first one where I've been like, I would do this again in a heartbeat. If anybody in my life was like, oh, that looks cool, I'd like to do it, I would plan it for next year. I would go back and do it again. It was wonderful to camp on the beach, to watch the wildlife, just to be that close to the ocean. I loved the peaks. It was hard, but it was doable, and I just ended it feeling like really good, really proud, and really strong. By the end, I was sad to leave the island, not just because it's beautiful, which of course it is, but more because of the separate sort of space trips like this create. Like, Sarah and I talked pretty much all of this trip that we weren't sleeping. We weren't really on our phones other than to take a few pictures and videos. And I just love the sort of camaraderie that a trip like this fosters when you're out for 4 days with someone. I love the self-reliant feeling of your world being slimmed down to what you can carry on your back. All of your problems are immediate and in front of you, and all of the things that you need are right there with you, and you're carrying them, and I think that's really cool. I love the way that outdoor sports like backpacking and paddling teach cause and effect. For example, if you don't dry out your dewy tent, then you will carry a wet tent all day, and that will weigh more, and you'll have a wet tent when you get to camp, which I did. And you might not have time to dry it out, which I did. I had time to dry it out, but still, the lesson stands. Overall, I'm really glad that we did this. I feel like it was a really good reminder for me that I can still do this stuff even if I'm spending most of my time behind a laptop in the winter. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting out there again. And thanks for being here and making it to the end.